All right, hey y'all, welcome to TXC Tells All, or welcome back if you're one of our subscribers. So we've been doing some lives, really want to get our subscriber and viewer content up and also communicate with you guys. We always like when you comment in our comment box below, but we want to engage in some authentic, organic dialogue. So today's live, we're going to be talking about whose body is it anyway? And what I mean by that is let's talk about plastic surgery. Let's talk about body image, all of those things that are constantly and consistently floating around in the media and social media. I mean, it's just the world that we live in. So we want to kind of focus on some body image issues. Plastic surgery, do you think it's good? Do you think it's bad? What are your thoughts on it? We'll share our thoughts. And also, Kay Michelle has a new Lifetime series called My Killer Body, where she is actually open about her plastic surgery journey and not just the good, but the bad things that happened to her. And she's sharing not only her story, but the stories of other women and men who have experienced plastic surgery kind of nightmare. So we're going to watch a clip about that and talk about that. But I'll give people a few minutes to get into it, and let's talk about it.
Yeah. I haven't watched My Killer Body. I mean, I just want to full disclosure. So I haven't watched it, but the topic of plastic surgery is, I guess everybody knows about plastic surgery and has how it's applied to Kay Michelle and other celebrities and just regular folks too. So
yeah, I mean, if you're living if you have any social media account, I'm talking Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and you haven't heard of a BBL, I don't know. I'm sure you have. It stands it stands for Brazilian butt lift. And it really, I feel like BBLs, or at least Brazilian butt lifts, you started hearing about that probably 10 plus years ago. Because I feel like even when I was in high school, and I'm 35 now, I was hearing about, people doing plastic surgery. The Kardashians, kind of started rising in fame, and they started talking about Kim Kardashian's body, and then Khloe's, and then what's the other sister's name?
Courtney.
No, not Courtney. Is it Courtney? No, not Courtney. She didn't get plastic surgery. I don't think. The other one.
Oh, Kendall and Kylie.
Kendall. No, Kylie. Sorry. Don't follow them, but Kylie, yes. So, you see these images, and I mean, it's no secret, right? We've seen these people before they got plastic surgery, and then we see them after they get plastic surgery. So it's no secret that plastic surgery is happening. And I feel like more celebrities are being open and honest about it. I think Cardi B, talked about plastic surgery that she's gotten, and people are more willing to say what they've gotten done and what they have not gotten done. They want people to be clear, like, yes, I did get my boobs done, but this is my real butt, or vice versa. So yeah, I mean,
and just not even plastic surgery too, like just cosmetic surgery in general.
True, cosmetic surgery in general,
or cosmetic work. So like Cardi B got her teeth fixed and stuff like that.
So. Right. And it's I guess the question is, if you have the money, should you be judged if you want to get some assistance and you're willing to go as far as going under the knife? What do you think, Loretta? If you have the money to do plastic surgery and there's something about your body or your face that you don't like, do you think you should just go for it?
I think it depends, right? Just from my personal perspective, right? So I'm a mom, and a lot of people talk about mommy makeovers. And that seems like it doesn't have the same stigma attached to a mommy makeover as just like a flat out, I want to change something about myself. Because usually mommy makeovers was like, I want to get back to what I was, not necessarily change what my body was in general. So I think it's less stigma attached to the mommy makeovers than the regular ones. But then also I would feel guilty because I'm a mom to undergo elective surgery, which has its own risks, for something that is so vain. So I probably wouldn't do it just because you never know what'll happen. Like what happened with Kanye West's mom. She underwent surgery for liposuction and ended up dying from a heart attack, right? Like that was something that was 100% preventable. Like it wasn't like it was a medically necessary surgery and she had a heart attack. This was something that she didn't need to have. Even Usher's ex-wife, Tamika, she went somewhere out the country and got liposuction too, ended up having a heart attack on a table in Brazil or something like that, right? Yes, you have the money for it, but should you do it just because you have the money for it? because you leaving your child, like, especially if young children, like, granted, you see what the impact on Kanye is, like, he's a full adult, but to do that and then leave your younger children without parents, like, that is, I don't know if the risk is worth the reward, in my view. Although, as I mentioned, I, as a mom, a mommy makeover could do a little lifts and pulls that would be good after your body undergoing so much stuff, carrying a baby and nursing a baby afterwards. I'll leave it at that.
Right. I'll be real, and because I know the body I'm in today at 35 is not the body that I had at 25, and it's not the body I want. I mean, is there stuff that I could do about that? Yes, not eat, fried foods and exercise, that I've exercised consistently. Because y'all see I be trying. Y'all, if y'all watch the channel, I've done exercise challenges and weight loss challenges, but it's a struggle, right? Like, your metabolism isn't the same after you have a kid. My body has never been the same since then. So, you think, and a lot of people work out and they do give, the organic working out way a shot, and it's not working the way they wanted to. So they say, look, I'm ready to take the next step. So I can say, I haven't had any plastic surgery yet, but I don't know. Like, I really don't know. I think, for some people view it as, well, you're putting yourself at risk, like Larita said, for elective surgery that you don't have to have. It is not a life or death situation where having a surgery would save your life. But some people argue it could change your life. And I think that's why, people do it, because they really are unhappy with their stomach or butt or whatever it might be. And they're like, I could do something to change it. Why not? I'm hiring these professionals. Like, let's put the people who go in like the, basement and all that's a whole nother unlicensed, and do surgery with people that are not licensed. And K. Michelle talks about some of that on her show too. I mean, one of the episodes, the woman was getting butt injections. No, she was getting a butt lift. Like, she was actually getting cut open, and they gave her like topical aesthetic. Like, they didn't put her under, which, like, she's getting cut open, and she said she could feel it like burning and ripping, and it's terrifying. Like, so outside of that extreme where you can't afford to get it done from a licensed surgeon, and you're kind of going these other routes, outside of that, I think, I don't know. I really don't know what I would do in the end. Right now, I'm like, I'm gonna try to work out, because I don't like regular I stub my toe type pain. So
I don't like what?
Regular I stub my toe type pain. Oh. Like, I'm not your pain tolerant. Like, let's just grit our teeth. No, I'm not. So I'm like, to sign up for that kind of pain, I don't know. So that's what's keeping me from doing something like that. But I mean, I think especially for women, like Larita said, mothers who looked one way before they had their child, and then they have their child with this, which is a selfless act, right, to have a baby and bring life into this world, and then you're like, hold on, wait a minute, what about me?
Right.
What about
wait a minute, I didn't sign up for this part.
Right, like, what about me? And that's what I always say. Some women snap back. I didn't snap back. Like, where is my snapback? I'm still waiting. Like, when is it coming? So all that being said, I think it really is a controversial topic right now, but I think because it is also getting more affordable. I mean, I've seen some prices for lipo 360, which means like liposuction, your stomach area, your back area, for $6,000. Whereas before, yeah, that's cheap. Before, you were looking at in 2020, 25,000 maybe for that. Maybe even more depending on your surgeon. Dr. Miami, which you'll see in the thumbnail for this, he's holding all the silicone boobs. But anyway,
that's what I didn't know what that was in the picture.
Yes, I was like, I wonder if people will know. So that's Dr. Miami in the thumbnail. If you check the thumbnail out, and he's holding all these silicone breast implants, and he is very popular. And he's one of the relatively more expensive doctors that's popular in the social media world for BBLs and breast augmentation and stuff, but he's even getting more affordable. I mean, they're having sales on plastic surgery. I did some research, and I saw there's a grant available for plastic surgery for certain types of surgical procedures. So it's a different world out there than it was maybe 10, 20 years ago. But okay.
So yeah, we have some who's interested in they're not just interested, they're actually doing something about it. So
yeah, thanks for sharing. I mean, like I said, I'm not saying I wouldn't, in the future, at least right now I'm trying to exercise, but look. So you shared you're having it in 2 months. Is there anything particular that is really scaring you at this point about it? If you mind sharing, if you want to, share, or is there anything that you feel like you did to prepare that kind of, you did your research and you got all the answers that you need to feel comfortable going into your surgery? Because I'm sure the people are watching are probably like, I feel like it's one thing to watch celebrities do it, and we assume based on the amount of money that they have and their status and network that they're getting the top of the line doctors, right? But what about the rest of us? The rest of us, because I mean, sure, I understand that, but thanks for sharing. Thanks for sharing with us that you were going to do that. But yeah, so a lot of people are looking, if they want to do it, they're looking for the best doctors, and they want to, make sure that if they, like any surgery, they want to make sure that they're going into surgery with someone that they trust. So I think when you make that decision, like I said, with the people who are choosing to cut corners and do it with somebody who's not licensed, okay, that's great. Doc, she said, not scared. The doctor has tons of positive reviews. That's awesome. I think that's important. And at least that's helpful. Nowadays, we can, not talk to you, but get insight from strangers that have been through it that we wouldn't have been able to get, before social media, before Google reviews and all of that. I actually know one person who did do their plastic surgery outside of the country, and they had a whole Facebook group of the surgeons, past and current, people who had gotten surgery before and were going to get their surgery in the future, that were already scheduled for surgery. And they had a whole Facebook group where they could communicate. So she said she was communicating with women who had, done the same type of procedure she had months before her surgery was scheduled. So she was able to get people's, un not revamped review, because if you go on a doctor's website, obviously they're not going to put on their website, yeah, this person had a horrible experience, talk to her. So the Facebook group allowed people to organically communicate with each other and hear real stories. And she said people told her the truth about the pain and everything else, and she felt comfortable going into the surgery. I feel like I want to get the surgery before I get older. It's harder to heal if you're older. True. It's hard to everything when you're older. It's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard to everything. Yeah.
Gravity works as you get older.
Right. It's hard to heal. It's hard to work out. It's hard to stay that way. So I mean, yeah. I mean, I think it is.
I know that. I mean, everybody has their own reasons for doing it, right? Like they may want to just enhance certain things. Some people want like totally. I think I sent Tracy this screenshot of it. I was watching a show. It was about women realtors, and somebody was commenting that like, oh, all these realtors look like gorgeous. They dress nice. They look nice, and sex sells. So this lady was like, I want to change this about her. Like she want to have a whole new body, but she's not lying when she says like, how you look. That could be a business write-off, right? Because you're investing in yourself to be able to sell more real estate, because you know that how you look possibly could potentially affect your ability to close deals, which is sad and true at the same time. Like, dang, like what if you just didn't get that lucky ticket, right? Based on what other people think is attractive, right? Because beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Right. You look attractive to somebody, but not enough people for you to like take your business to a whole nother level. And I think it's more slated to women than men, because men can kind of look any kind of way and still close deals. Women have a certain higher standard that they have to meet before they're like, oh, we won't even entertain that. So this person was saying like, yeah, I want to change everything about me, almost like she's a cartoon character now.
Right, like anything you like at all. And
like, would you change all this about you, whether your kids are gonna look like you?
Like them kids gonna come out, they can't.
They gonna still look like you. Granted, I mean, they're not gonna look exactly like you, but let's say that all the things that you don't like about yourself that you're changing, you still might see that in your kid. And I do know kids that some what's the model? Bella and whatever, Hadid. They're the daughters of one of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, and she admitted today that she had surgery on her nose, a rhinoplasty surgery to change her nose because she didn't like her nose, and she said she regrets doing that now because she's 25 now, and her mom let her do it when she was 14.
Wow.
And granted, now she's worth $24 million as a model. Like, she books all over the world.
I know her.
Because of, I'm sure her nose job contributed to that. So, I mean, it kind of like, okay, so at what age is it okay to let your child do that? Because, you know, yes, you may change certain things. I even think Candy Burns' daughter got a nose job too, right before she went to college. Candy Burns she admitted she had what is it, breast implant surgery. So, like, if your kids see that you're doing it and they're like, okay, I want to do it, but then I don't know, it's kind of mixed. Mm-hmm. I got mixed reviews on it because, yes, there's certain things I would like to change about myself, if I guess given, but then also it's like, what about self-love? But then people use makeup and stuff to enhance your beauty. So, like, at what point does it stop? Because this, like you said in the description, this is a judgment-free zone. Everybody's going to have different opinions on it. So feel free to hop in if you guys differ from my opinion on it. And I don't want you to feel like I'm judging anybody. This is just how I'm just like, okay, it's kind of a slippery slope for me. Mm-hmm. And like, when do you stop? Like, does makeup, people are less judged for wearing makeup, but then some people are judged for wearing makeup too, because they're like, you're catfishing people. That's not how you really look, because like, people are really good makeup artists. So I don't know. It's a lot.
I mean, it's a lot. I mean, I think, you know, like, you know, people look at people with plastic surgery, I think more scrutinize a little bit more because of the risks. But I feel like the person who, you know, we all know people who work out 3 times a day, and, you know, their focus is not so much health, but the way they look, and they get obsessive with, you know, different diets and nutritional plans and this and that, because they want to make sure they have shredded 8-packs and, you know, their arms look a certain way. And that extreme is that, you know, people don't judge that like, oh, they're fit, they're doing their thing. Like, but, you know, I feel like it could be an element of a lack of self-love there too. Like, it's not automatically because somebody's having plastic surgery that they don't love themselves. It just might be like, I want my 20-year-old stomach back. Like, yeah, and that's the same way that the person going to the gym, you know, 4 times a day to keep that or get back that stomach is doing basically the same goal, just different directions. But I think I'd love to write it off as a business expense, but I doubt it'd be legit. Not like I'm in the acting and modeling business, right? I wish, like, but you know, even attorneys, you know, now with websites, attorneys have to be on websites. You know, you have to appear a certain way on your social media. You know, not everybody's going to look the same, but even attorneys, and that's supposed to be, you know, more of a boring. Doesn't matter how you look, just get these papers filed type of profession. But nowadays you have Lawyer Bay, and, you know, that was a hashtag, and that whole hashtag is based on, you know, female attorneys looking a certain type of way and then falling into that category of Lawyer Bay. So I feel like even for us, it's this constant pressure to look a certain way. And
you mean women, right? Because
women. But even I, you know, as I was doing some research for this live, I was surprised. I was looking at the men, you know, the packages for the men with the abs, and there was one guy who got implants for guns, whatever what do you call these? You see how much I work these things. Whatever you call these things. Triceps, biceps. Got implants, and they actually had got an infection. So, like, you know, and it was swollen. And so men, you know, we assume when we see men that that's it. Oh, he got abs, and they have calf implants. They have, and I think, you know, of course, women do it to a higher percentage of plastic surgery is performed on women, but these men are getting fake abs. They're getting calf implants, and, you know, no leg day. They just getting calf implants.
No leg day.
No leg day. Calf implants. So, you know, I think for them too. But I think the one thing about plastic surgery right now that is alarming to me, at least BBLs and liposuctions for women, is that everybody is trying to attain this same body type. And women are shaped. We are shaped. Every woman that you meet, if you put 10 women in a room together, they're all going to be shaped differently. Mm-hmm. Even if each of those women were the, you know, whatever you want to call standard small waist, whatever. Each of them are going to be shaped in a different way. So
Right.
I think the push in the media and in social media and on Instagram and with the Instagram models is this literally exact same shape, hips,
The
waist,
hourglass figure.
right. And it's just like, and that's what the plastic surgeons with these BBLs are like trying to achieve. Like, no, not your hips. Let's give you these hips. Like, and it's like even hip dips. I just learned that hip dips were a thing.
What's that?
I feel like I need to put a picture up.
Maybe do that. Open up a tab. I'll talk to the people.
Yeah, let me open the tab real quick.
Because I don't know. But it's funny though when I talk to certain guys about this, because one guy was like, "Oh yeah, my girlfriend wants to get a BBL," and he was like, and also like a breast implants. He's like, guys don't really care about it to the extent that they think girls care about it. Like, so a lot of times girls are doing it for themselves, but let's say they're doing it to impress a guy. The guys don't care as much about it as the girls think they do. And so it's just like, he said, I actually like the natural look. He's like, I mean, I like the gravity. Like,
right. Like,
yeah, no problem with it. Meanwhile, women are like questioning themselves. And it's like, some guys like it. Now, of course, if you're doing it for yourself, you're not caring about what the guy thinks, then that's fine. But just for those people that are doing it for the sake of entertaining another guy, that's a whole nother story. But obviously, doing it for yourself, you're like, I want to look a certain way when I look in the mirror. I don't have no problem with that either. It scares me as far as I go under and don't come back up, and then now I done left my kid an orphan, right? So I mean, that's scary. But did you find it?
Yes, this is a thing, y'all. Hip dips. You see that? Can y'all see?
Oh, so what do they do to get that?
So no, that's like the hip dips are normal. Most people, if you stand up, you're gonna have a little dip in your hips there.
Let's see.
Like, I'm checking out because I know I have hip dips. I'm like,
I can't tell in these pants.
Yeah, she's a on the thinner side, this lady, but no matter what size, most people have that little dip when you stand up in your hips. Not everybody. Some people are more rounded out.
I see the thigh spacing because that's the thing too. Like the
that's the thing too, but not that where the arrow is pointing. So the hip dip thing. So you see how she's all curved out there. This picture was saying you could do exercises to get that more rounded shape.
The second on the right hand side, you can get that by exercising.
Yeah. Well, that's what this Pinterest ad was saying. But there are exercises that can help. But surgically, a lot of people are surgically doing this. They put fat into the hip pocket there to round it out and get that look of just straight, Jessica Rabbit rounded out hips. So I'm like, but what was wrong with the hip dips? Like what was wrong?
I didn't even think about hip dips. That just gives. So I don't want to give people insecurities that like I'm like I didn't even know that was a thing.
I know. I'm sorry, y'all. If y'all didn't know about hip dips, then
that looks frivolous. Who cares about the hip dip? Oh well, keep the surgeons rich. Right. For real, that's what we doing. Right, that's what we doing. I'm like, I didn't even know about that, but I mean, like I said, this is a judgment-free zone. If that's something that you want to change about yourself, then that's not something that I would pick, right? Everybody has their own thing, their own insecurities. I think everybody has an insecurity, right? And then how you are dealing with the insecurity is up to you. Like, okay, yeah, I don't like this. I wish I would have had this, but I'm still okay with it. Or, nope, as soon as I get some money, I'm going to go change that. It just depends on how you feel about it. I think, but as you mentioned earlier, like the approved doctor, because I know like there was a whole thing. So I haven't watched the K Michelle thing, but I know a while back the toxic tush doctor was doing butt injections in Florida. Of course it was Florida. Sorry, we got any Florida watchers, but yeah, it be crazy stuff going on in Florida. In Florida, this was a transgender woman. And I want to bring up the picture actually, because it was a transgender woman. And if you saw her, first of all, if I went to somebody and saw them, it's like going, well, maybe not the same thing. It's like going to a hairdresser and her hair looks crazy. And you're like, are you going to do my hair good? Go to this tush doctor. It was like this. It looked like, let me bring up a picture. Because it was crazy. Like, I wouldn't even go to her. And so she got convicted of injecting people with cement.
I saw that. Okay, go ahead and pull up the picture. So you can see. In the meantime, BBLs are actually, really risky. Like the risks are way higher than some other plastic surgeries. And I don't know exactly why that is, but I'll read y'all in a 2017 report that surveyed 692 surgeons from around the world, and 3% of them experienced a patient death following a BBL. So about 21 of them, and that's higher than the regular plastic surgery death numbers, not BBLs, but another stat, according to a 2018 review of over 25,000 cases, complications occur in fewer than 1% of outpatient surgery. So, I mean, I would say even with the 1% on the 2018 study, and then the 2017 that was just focused on BBLs with 3%. I mean, they're still not that high, but obviously it's still a risk. Oh, this is the cement.
Yes. So look, this is the talk. This is a person's name is his real name. Let me just not say it. No shade. The name is O'Neill Romore. Is a transgender woman. But look at that.
Yeah, terrible.
I wouldn't purposely want to get like that, right? So if I went to this person, she was doing these injections in like a hotel room.
I remember this story.
Got convicted. Okay, she got convicted because like obviously these people were suffering consequences as a result of getting these like what was it? The flat, like, what's that thing where like you don't get a flat tire? She was putting that in their butt. She was putting cement in their butt. Everything you're not supposed to put in somebody's body, she was putting it in. So then, of course, it was causing complications because it was moving through their body. So people had consequences. So she went to jail for a year, and then somebody ended up dying. So she went back to court for manslaughter because a person died as a result of it, and the lady was so upset because she's like, my daughter died such a horrific death because of what this person did over there practicing medicine, not a doctor. And I just don't understand, like,
yeah, I mean,
usually I be trying to find like both sides of it.
Right. And then it's like I said, it's how bad do you want it? If I still say I'm not against it or at all personally. I mean, I might be back on here doing that.
Like, look at my new whatever.
Like, remember when I did that live about plastic surgery? Well, I decided.
Right.
So, but just do your research and go to somebody reputable, because it's your life at the end of the day. I mean, we all have, like Larita said, things that we want to change or make better about our personal appearance. If you say you don't, you're lying, and I don't believe you. Maybe you're not lying, but I don't believe you. But everybody,
you need to put in the thing where people get that grant money if they want to do.
Right, I'll put that in the
the description box. If you want a grant to get free plastic surgery, Tracy's gonna drop that link. There was something else she sent me about that too. Like, you need to share that with them, because I mean, if you're interested in doing it,
right,
why not get somebody else to finance it?
Right. And yeah. So, but yeah, I'm just like, just be safe about it. Just like anything, like we talked about the online dating the other day. Like, don't do crazy stuff. Oh yeah, I'm gonna meet him at his house. He lives out in the mountains. Don't do that. Like, same thing with plastic surgery. Like, if you're gonna get plastic surgery and you can't afford it right now, you should definitely wait till you can afford it and save up your money, and just like you would save for anything else you really wanted, an expensive purchase, and do it with somebody legit.
She was saying basically go to a regular doctor, like you were just saying. I know you talked about so I was touching a little bit about it when I was talking about the toxic tush doctor, where they're malpractice suits, right? But it's not really even malpractice, because the person wasn't even a doctor, like, because malpractice is against somebody who had a legal obligation to the patient because they were in a position. This person is not even a legal doctor, but those doctors. So, like, let's say in this instance with Kanye's mom, this person was considered, let's say, a reputable doctor, right? She went to him. She had the money. She went to this doctor in California. It wasn't even out of the country. Ended up having complications, and then I think they ended up investigating it because they said this doctor had some history of their patients having complications. Okay. And I guess his mom was a little older when she underwent it. So now they have a law that says that in order for you to undergo cosmetic surgery in California, you have to get the go ahead. And some people was like, well, that's a stupid law, because for the most part, that is required. Like, you have to get a go ahead from your primary care physician to say that you're healthy enough to undergo surgery. Right. So it was like that law was kind of like, is it really doing anything but like making it appear that like, oh, now we care against these people that are out here trying to do it? Because of course, also in California, Kanye said he felt it was his fault because he's like, he brought his mom out to California, where that's like Hollywood and everybody's looking a certain way. You have access to a lot of things in California. He felt guilty because he put his mom in that environment. and then she now felt like she needed to do something about her body. Whereas he's like, if she would have been wherever she was at before, it was less likely that she probably would have even undergone the surgery and then end up dying because she had a heart attack the day after. So he felt guilty because he knows, like, in certain environments, it's kind of encouraged. Like, it's almost second nature. Everybody's doing it. But then it's like, also, there's a lot of malpractice going on. But I think the article you sent me was telling, like, the challenges in winning a malpractice. Because I don't know. I know they sued Kanye's mom's doctor, but I don't know, like, the final result in regards to the court. But I know they did have that law after the fact. So
medical malpractice is tough in any situation, unfortunately. And the article I read about from a law firm that does medical malpractice suits against cosmetic surgeons, it's like it's not just because you didn't like the result. So, for example, even if it looks bad and this is not what I signed up for, it has to, the disfigurement cases are hard because it's like you didn't get a post-op infection or negligent injection of drugs. Like, those seem to be easier to prove because now it's not just about the surgery. It's usually affecting other functions, other organs. You might have had a post-operative complication because of an infection if something was done wrong as far as procedure in the surgery that caused the infection, that now caused problems to your kidneys or other organs outside of the scope of what the surgery was. Now you have these other medical complications that they can link directly to something that was done or was not done in the operating room. Those are a little bit easier to get, but if you go into plastic surgery and you feel like you're borderline disfigured, you're like, I want to sue this person, but those cases can be difficult. And the thing with the law is, it's a case-by-case basis, of course, but generally they're saying that medical malpractice suits based on cosmetic surgery can be really, really tough. So
have you watched this? Have you watched this killer body thing? So
I watched two episodes. One, it was like a mommy makeover, and she had like a really bad infection along her incision line on her stomach. And then the other one was like a butt implant that went like wrong. Her legs were giving out, and I think she had like nerve damage. So that was the other one. But she has there's a lot of episodes, and I haven't got a chance to watch them. I'm kind of into like Porters and like Dr. Pimple Popper. I'm that person.
Oh, I just saw a random episode of that. Yeah.
So I'm into that. So I'm like, oh, I really want to sit down and watch the rest of them. But those are the only two that I've seen so far. And these two women, they had serious complications where their life was affected. Like the one woman was saying how, because of the complications from her surgery, she wasn't going out. Like, she was actually an outgoing person. She used to travel, and like her butt is disfigured, and she also had like issues with her legs. So she was like bedridden for a while in the house. She wasn't going anywhere, and she basically was like, it ruined my life.
Yeah, so that affects her. Like, now you got some physical problems and you got some mental health problems as a result of it, secondary to the fact that you underwent this surgery because it ended up not going as well. So it implicates a lot of things. Kanye's mom, she had a heart attack the next day. That's how she died. But yeah, I think that it's hard to kind of just balance the risk versus the reward. Yes, obviously you want to look a certain way, but then what happens when things go with time? Because if you look back in the day, there were certain body types that were popular. It's like when if you change something about yourself, then that's not popular. Because back in the day, it was like they like women that looked a certain way, and it wasn't the shapely look that is now. Like, that wasn't the thing. So let's say a few years from now, it changes to a whole nother look. All these Instagram models that done changed their bodies, and now that's not the end thing anymore. But you don't change yourself permanently. It's like
right. That's all. Like, let's just be. If you want to, I mean, no judgment free zone, right? But for me, if I want to change, it's just to like, I don't want a whole new body or a whole new. I never really want to do anything to my face, but like, I just want the stretched out baby stomach to be gone. I'm
not asking for much.
I'm not asking for much. I just want the stretched out baby stomach with the stretch marks and the tiger marks or whatever they call them. How can we take care of that? Like, that's all I'm asking. But everybody has the level of plastic surgery that they're willing to do or they feel like they need. And, obviously, even family members might disagree. Like, nothing's wrong with you. You look fine. Why would you do that? And it's a personal choice at the end of the day. I mean, as long as you are going with somebody who's licensed, professional, and trained to do that, it's your personal choice. But
yeah, and like I said, I did consider mommy makeover, and I'm not saying it's off the table, but I definitely
you might not do it after you watch that episode of Kate Michelle.
Oh yeah, I might not. I might be like, back to where I started. Who knows? But yeah, I definitely thought about that in regards to. But then this other stuff, I'm like, whatever. I'll live with it. And loving yourself, I guess self-care, like loving yourself, like despite it, like, okay, this is who I am, even though I wish things would change about me. And maybe I'll change my mind about it later. I guess you have the freedom to do so because, and it's different. Do you think it's different from like the whole, if you wanted to get other self thing, like wearing a weave in your hair, wearing makeup, getting your teeth fixed? Do you find it's different from this other stuff we've been talking about? Or is it kind of the same thing?
I mean, I think it falls into the same bucket. I mean, where obviously it's more invasive. It's not, wearing a weave is not going to kill you. So I'm like, that in that way it's more invasive, but it's all falls into the bucket of, you want to look a certain way. And if you have the means to change it, if there's something available for you to change it, you can do that. I mean, surgery is obviously very permanent and different than wearing braids one week. Y'all know I've changed my hair all the time.
Yes, she's here a lot.
All the time. But surgery is permanent. You're going in and you're changing something, and that's it. Once you do it, unless you have surgery to then change it to something else, you're stuck with that, and it's way more expensive.
So is it catfishing though? Like, like I was telling earlier about the wearing makeup, and then you take off all your stuff. You like take off my eyelash, take off my makeup, take off my lipstick, take off my weave, and the guy's like, "What the hell?" Is that catfish? Because I mean, in the same thing, like with the plastic surgery, like obviously you're not taking off whatever your BBL or your implants or something, but it's the same thing. Like, what did I sign up for? Like, that's not real. That's not real. That's not real. My eyes are real. So,
right, guys be like, they don't. For the most part, the guys that I've talked to about it, they're like, they don't care. Like, they don't really care if it's real or not. Does it look good? Like, they're like, I don't care if she bought it. Like, it's fine.
So do you think it's catfishing though? Either one?
No, I mean, well, if I have seen some makeup videos and I have been like, wow, that is a completely different person. And I do think to myself, like, what if you're out and you meet this girl and she looks like that, and then you get home and she looks like that? Like, it's not saying that you couldn't possibly find both beautiful, right? But it's a totally different.
Like, who's that? It's a stranger in my house.
You come out the bathroom, it's like I was here for Jenny, and Janine came out the bathroom. I thought it was her sister or something. But
some of these makeup artists are really good. Like, whoa.
Yeah, that could be catfishing, but guys be catfishing though.
Y'all did talk about that. Yeah, the guys have their own thing. I've definitely met guys who wore their hat a lot. When they took it off, I was like,
Right. No, what happened here?
Y'all better not say nothing about women. Y'all be hiding the receipt and hairline for real. Like,
and wearing weaves. That's what the guys are wearing.
Or even the blackouts. They do the blackouts too. Some guys do the blackouts. And like, your blackout is your makeup is running, sir. Because that's the guys' version of makeup.
Right. If a blackout is like when they basically make up in their hairline to make it perfect,
to make it more strong and sharp looking.
So yeah, I mean, everybody's doing something for the most part, but yeah, I mean, I don't feel like the plastic surgery is catfishing because you made a decision to change, and that's who you're going to be from that point forward after the surgery. So
whoever just hopped in, comment in the comment section. What do you think? Do you think that plastic surgery and or makeup and stuff is catfishing? Put a thumbs up or a thumbs down whether you think it's catfishing or not. We want to know what you guys think. I know it's people hopping in and out as we've been on the live, and we're going to wrap it up in a few minutes. But I want to know what you guys think because we've been talking and we had some interaction earlier, but kind of want to know, like, we're just two people, and obviously everybody has different opinions, and we'll respect it as long as you're respectful about your opinion. And hopefully we didn't come across as disrespectful to anything we said.
Right.
We really tried to make sure we were just like, okay, judgment-free zone, share what you think. So comment in the chat section. No, got one thumbs down, no catfishing. Okay,
Right,
so
right.
let us know in the chat. Put in the chat what you think. Thumbs up, catfishing. Thumbs down, no catfishing.
And just know what you think about, the whole plastic surgery conversation. We, like I said, I might be on here doing a plastic surgery journey.
Like how you can get your
Like, so I did that video because I was researching for myself.
right.
But I mean, I feel
Let's
like with
see.
the catfishing thing, it's no different than,
Oh yeah, that's true. That's real
yeah,
catfishing. Yeah, that's not that. I
right.
guess. I mean,
Right.
there's levels.
Yeah,
There's
there
levels
are
to
definitely
catfishing.
levels. But it's no different to me than somebody who lost 150 pounds and you see pictures of them before and they did it organically, but it's like, who's that? And it's like, oh, that was me 2 years ago. I did,
That's a good point.
yeah. So it's like extreme makeover, whether you get it through plastic surgery or you work out. Cause I mean, we see people all the time that lose 200, 250
A
pounds.
whole person.
Yeah, it's totally different people. So I don't think, people have the right to work or pay to change their
Right.
to change their appearance.
Right.
Oh, cool. Oh, okay.
Okay. Thanks for
Cool.
sharing.
Yes, thanks for sharing. Yep. So
We're not gonna make this too long, but we
right.
thank guys for tuning in today for the topic.
Yes, thanks for joining in. Thanks for participating and letting us know what you think. And if you missed it and you're watching the replay, we still want to hear from you. Make sure you comment below. Let us know what you think about what we said, or if you've seen My Killer Body by K. Michelle. If you think of anything about her episodes or about what she's doing, putting it out there and being honest about the bad part, because a lot of people don't do that. They'll look fabulous and they won't tell us about everything that they went through. So I do commend her for being open and honest, because being in the public eye and doing that, I mean, obviously she turned it into a business because she has this show now, and that's great for her. But I think it's really hard for celebrities. They're people, they're human, they're people too. And she's being open and honest, and her show might help somebody. So yes, have a good night, y'all. Thanks for
Good
joining
night,
in.
guys. Thanks for tuning in.
That was all.